Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream. I'm your host, Ronan Unchained, and we are talking about Wonder Man. We're going to be talking about DC Studios Chapter 1, Gods of Monster 3-year anniversary. Fuck, I can't believe it's been that long. Um, but yeah, mostly Wonder Man, and then we'll dive into a little bit of the DC stuff talks. And I think it's a Saturday. I say let's give it a go and see how far we can go. Before we start, I haven't told this to the boys. If the boys, I have some friends with me to talk about. If they want to give their 2 cents about what I'm going to bring up right now, they're more than free to do so. But I've been doing this with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms streams, and I want to do it with this one. Mostly when I do streams on my channel, is that my heart goes out to Minneapolis. My heart goes out and applause to everybody who marched and protested yesterday. Again, we are talking about these titles, but I can't ignore what's happening out in the world, especially with someone who looks like me, sounds like me, and like. Anyways, I'm not gonna wet down on jinx shit. But to make it clear, point: fuck guys, chinga la migra, and free Palestine. There, I'll leave it at that. All right, boys, we gotta talk about some nerdy shit. I got Jorrel and I got Daren over here. Muchachos, how y'all doing?
I'm good. Like you said, fuck ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same, vice versa.
All right. Full disclosure, y'all, I'm being one more time. We are talking spoilers for Wonder Man. If you have not seen this series, please do so. Don't just watch it because I'm telling you that we're gonna talk spoilers. For reals, it is, in my opinion, and I guess we'll get into it when we start talking about our thoughts on it. For me, it is worth watching and not getting spoiled for stuff. And the colder you go into it, the better. Lower expectations down to the bottom of the dirt, and then join, see how your ride goes. But once more, we are doing spoilers. So good luck, and we'll see y'all when we start. All right. I have reactions. I have reviews. I did some reviews for Team JVS. I want to talk to you too because I haven't spoken to y'all about it fully. Everybody's seen all 8 episodes, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And Jorrel told me he just recently finished it, like about a few hours ago. You finished it?
Oh wow.
I started it and ended it today.
Jesus Christ! All right, I'm gonna start with Daren. I want to hear your thoughts first. How do you feel about Wonder Man?
You know what? I had weird expectations going into Wonder Man. Actually, I had like no expectations. Like I had no idea what this was going, like what this show was going to be. I thought it could have been incredible. It could have been awful. It could have been middle of the road. Like it could have been any of those things. But I was blown away with Wonder Man. I could not believe the show they turned out. What you know? Again, this is a character that I didn't know about. The like biggest thing going in was like, oh, they're bringing back the guy from Iron Man 3. It's like, what? Why would we do this? To the point, we heard like yesterday they almost pitched his own show for this. Like it was supposed to be just a Trevor series, and that's even crazier to me. But to beat around the bush, and I'll get more into it as we go on, I assume. I loved it. I adored the show. I think this is one of the best things Marvel Studios have put out. It's in my top 10 of the MCU. I think it's incredible.
Nice. All right. I've been bugging him since he told me I finished it, and I'm just like, I send these like gifts like, so what'd you think? Like, how'd it go? I listen. Okay, I won't oversell it. Anyways, my friend Jorrel, let it rip. What did you think of Wonder Man?
Okay, so I haven't had a chance to talk about Wonder Man yet. It kind of feels like it just dropped out of the sky like 4 weeks ago or something. I mean, I guess I'll just start with my rating, because like a 7 out of 10 is like good on my personalized scale. So if a 7 is good, I'm kind of stuck. I guess I'll figure out the answer when we get to the end of the stream, but I'm kind of stuck between like a 5 or like a 6 out of 10. I can't really tell. I do think that it's bad, but at the same time, I've been reading so many like reactions and reviews trying to like understand the other perspective, the mirror opposite of mine, and I think there are likable moments, there are likable characters, sure, there are good moments, sure, but I think for me the thing is like the full package, the like cumulatively, like overall, the show, I personally would say is bad. But I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't like hate it or something. Um, I don't even really particularly feel like angry or something like that. But I do think it's further from like good or like outstanding. Or there was one MCU person on Twitter who said that it was like an MCU version of Andor, and I was like,
Oh, I don't know about that.
did we watch the same thing? I haven't finished season 2 of Andor, but season 1 of Andor is pretty great.
Yeah.
Pretty great. Like really, but I don't know how much. Maybe I'll just stop there. But yeah, I can't tell if it's a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's one of the two for sure, for reasons that we'll begin to dig into.
Okay.
Very
Before
different spectrums here, it seems.
Yeah. Before we dive into the spectrum, Keyblade Master Jeffrey's in with us. Oh, let's go. Wonder Man was awesome. Yeah, fuck guys, everyone who likes them, you listen, your family likes to ignore them. LOL. Right on, Jeffrey. Ken Walker, hey everybody. Hi Ronan. Hi Daren. Hi Jorrel. Wow, hot take. Yes, that's my friend. It's my friend. Sometimes he's like the reverse Flavor Flav. Like, yeah, boy, no, fuck that, boy. Yeah, I don't like this, boy.
Is it a hot take? Is it a hot take outside of of MCU circles? That's what I want to know. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer yet.
That's what's fascinating is that like
that's the real question.
I'm not trying to gloat over here. I was fortunate enough to see it a little bit early, and here's the thing: I thought it was gonna be like almost like I would have a cult following and be like, okay, only like us, like a few people might like and appreciate it. And then everybody else be like, what's the point? It's not even connected to the movies. This isn't set up Doomsday. And like, why is this happening? And I was like, I get that perspective, but it for me, it does, not in a very direct, like he is, thank God it didn't say Wonder Man will return in Avengers Doomsday. That would have been so fucking memery.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that this is a good sign. Like, hey, y'all, we can still dive into it and take off all the superhero stuff, all the nonsense power stuff, and just sit with the character and follow their lives. And it just so happens that they're unique. They have a condition. And to me, the sentence I've been using over again is that it feels like for me a good Marvel comic book that they took either a B or C list character and we're like, you know what, he should be looked into the microscope the same way we look into Peter Parker or we look into Bruce Banner. Especially I lean more towards the Bruce Banner stuff because of how he feels off the control and how he feels about this connectivity with his abilities. And what I appreciate it is that like I love making of movies, like Hollywood movies that are based on like how Hollywood works on stuff. I just like that genre. It's not the genre. But I appreciate that we spent time with that and the notion that again, I had no expectations towards it. I liked the teaser trailers that we got, but at that point they were barely getting marketed. And as soon as I saw the floodgate of people digging this, I was like, oh God. Thank God, like that it turned out this way, at least for the majority of us who did were into it. Before we dive deep into what we thought of, like what we liked, what we didn't like, was there let's do it this way. Was there a least favorite moment or least favorite episode that you might have had with the series so far? Because I think I do still have a least favorite episode. Yeah. But I know that episode is still pivotal for where we go following Simon Williams and Travis Plattery, Beverly, whatever Travis.
Flattery, isn't it?
Flattery, there we go.
Flattery, yeah.
Do we have a least favorite episode or moment?
Oh, you said least favorite?
Least favorite. We'll get to our favorites later on, but I want to see where we
Oh.
feel like this could have been was not the strongest point of the show.
Oh god, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I literally was just about to say I have it in mind, but unfortunately, like it's all one episode for me.
Sure.
So I gotta look it up really quick.
I personally liked every episode. I thought the show was again excellent, and we'll get into that later. I think episode 5. I think it was episode 5 was probably my technical least favorite episode. And that's the one where they see them at the bar, and then there's the kid with the bike, and like that was the episode that definitely I think slowed down the momentum a little bit. But I'm so grateful that it's in there because I do think it's such an important episode for just these characters. And like this episode, and this is one of the reasons I like the show so much, this felt like a classic episode of TV. This felt like an episode you see in something like a Lost or a Buffy or a Smallville, where sometimes there's an episode where characters just do a thing before we get back to the main plot. And to me, like I've missed things like this. Like this is a sign that the formula is changing over at Disney Plus. That it's not like this is nothing you'd see in a Marvel movie or even something like WandaVision or like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because they weren't made like TV. They were made like extended movies. So I'm so grateful we can have that. But it is like like there was a point where I'm like, okay, there's a GoPro and then there's shooting and then there's candy and then there's the audition. I was like, whoa, this is a lot happening all at once. And so maybe some extra minutes to like let that like sit a little bit would have been nice for me. But I still thought it was a good episode.
Okay, episode 5, Jorrel.
It's kind of I haven't had very long to think about all this, but I think it's a tie between episode 1 and episode 7 for me. Episode 7 for me just landed so weird for me. I mean, like the previous episode was almost compelling with the whole, the
audition.
Was his name Simon, right? Like, is Simon is he going to make it? Is he not going to make it? Is he going to succeed? Is he not? It was almost kind of tense or compelling, but gosh, just like once he finally gets his bone, a dog gets his bone, if you will. It's like this next episode just feels so, because there's no real conflict until the end of the episode where he finds out the truth about Trevor.
Trevor was betraying him.
So,
he was like, yeah.
I guess the ending's okay, I suppose, but I just thought the rest of the episode was just a real slog for me. Like by the time we get to the point where he's at the bar with whoever that chick's name was,
his ex, yeah.
I literally remember just being like, and I know somebody, and I know people in it. I know people in the comments are gonna like rush down and be like, oh, so he just wanted action. And it's like, no, it's not what I'm saying. Most of my favorite films don't even have action in them. Or TV shows, whatever. At least
it wasn't your cup of tea.
Not action packed. But yeah, just a real snooze fest. I thought the first episode was boring. Well, I mean, a lot of this show is boring, but I thought the first episode particularly was boring. I was like, what are people talking about? But yeah, one of those. It's a tie.
It's fascinating because I've been hearing that people say it starts off slow, and I remember being like, stay with it. And again, you need that, particularly episode 1. You need the moment where he's like on the set as a day player, and he's saying, "Well, what if we change this line?" And I don't feel like I would do this. And you see the whole crew being like, "Dude, we gotta fucking shoot!" And it tells you everything about his sophistication to the craft. And it's just like you get to that kick in the ass, and then you get to episode 7 where even his girlfriend tells him, "Oh, like." I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to present yourself as who you are, and like, yeah, you're kind of a dick sometimes. Yeah. And to me, my least favorite episode is probably episode 3, probably. And I like favorite. It. Yeah, that's the one where they go to see his mom and all that stuff. And here's the thing: I know it's pivotal because you need to spend time with the family. I know it's pivotal. It just, I don't know. To me, that was my least favorite episode. But to me, that ending was so earnest. Like, to me, I applauded. Like, in my reaction, I clapped because he seemed like this. You're like, oh no, did his mom get hurt? And he's like, no, my agent called back for both of us. We got callbacks. And you see him like crying. He just goes up, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a callback. Like good for you, man. Like it feels weird. I don't know why. That's the one that like I've least gone back to. But funny enough, episode 5, when they're trying to stop the guy from uploading the footage, to me that was one of my favorite ones because
that's interesting.
He sees his powers. He's like, I can't lose control, and maybe that one is biased, probably because I am from LA and I've been through those streets. So like, notion like we gotta go, and then we're stuck in traffic, and then now it's probably the bull, the Hollywood Bowl is like no, and then the notion that they're trying to find this guy, and they're like, oh, we got sent sides, and like, Barnaby betrays Wonder Man, and he's like, and again, he goes to Yaya's testament as a former. He goes, but Barnaby's his best friend, and like all the chamoy stuff, the notion that like in the middle of a shootout that they're trying to prevent his identity to be revealed publicly. He's like, yo, the callback and said, hey, get out of there now and go to the audition, and then you see him like, again, putting it together, and you just hear the gunshot go off. He's like, oh shit, we gotta go. It was the funniest shit ever in that fucking episode. But it's also fascinating that, like, to me, you love episode 3, and Jorrel didn't dig episode 7 and 1. And 7, in some regards, I can see his point of view, but again, you need that episode to be like, wow, even when he's made it, when he got the role, his old ways are still lingering, and to me, the moment of revelation where like even Trevor just like, I don't know how I'm gonna figure this out, and like, it's a hell of a performance. It is sad as hell for me. I don't know, like I was like, wow, dude, what a fucking line to be like.
Listen, I know we have different perspectives, but I'm about to drop a haymaker on you because I've been thinking about this show all day, fam, and I've been so struggling. Like, what are these MCU fans talking about? Like, it's almost as if like they were in a desert and they just got rejuvenated. Like, Jesus, how dry has it been? But they're coming on so strong with the compliments. I'm just like, geez, guys.
You know what it could be?
Yeah.
Before you tell me your perspective, you know what it could be? And
yeah.
Daren, you tell me if I'm wrong. Because I know, because for those who don't know, Jorrel, for a while, he stopped the MCU stuff. He took a pause, which I was like, I respect, but I was like, he's going to come back. Like, eventually, you came back for Guardians 3. I'm like, you're going to come back.
It was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like
to me, what I was so happy with this show was like, it's not another fucking end of the world thing.
Yeah.
Not another fucking big villain doing the same goddamn tropes. It's literally the Hollywood system and some dude in the DODC who's trying to meet his fucking quota. That was it. And I love that. Like, it cut off a lot of the I don't want to say like that. It's cut off a lot of the stuff that I was expecting, like A, B, C, D, and I'm like, wait,
yeah,
we're just gonna hang out in an audition hall? I'm like,
and I'd argue this has more stakes than a lot of the Marvel stuff we watch.
Like, it feels personal.
So much of that I don't care about. Like, it's like, okay, they're going to save the world, whatever. But like, there are moments where I'm terrified for these characters. It's like, I want them to get this audition. I want them to escape. I don't want Trevor to go back to prison. And there is like that genuine fear for these characters because I love them so much. And I think these, and again, not everyone here is going to agree, and that's completely fine. But like, how this show writes its characters, it's some of the best I've ever seen. I can spend literal seconds with some of these characters and I fall in love with them instantly. I think Simon is the quickest I've ever fallen in love with an MCU character. Because the moment when he's watching the big screen, when he's sitting there watching a superhero, and I'd argue this maybe goes for a lot of people, they're like, that's me. Like, that is us sitting in front of Iron Man or Guardians of the Galaxy and falling in love with these heroes. And that's who Simon is. Someone who loves movies, who loves shows, who loves the art side of it. And I don't know, man. So much of it, like even the smaller characters, like there's those like candy guys. Like, you know, again, I said 5 was my least favorite, but I still think it's great. I love those guys I met for 30 seconds, and I think it's just in the writer's room.
It sounded like a drug, like
How
it
did
was
they
like an
do
actual
it?
drug ring or not. Yeah,
How do
yeah.
you make me love these characters? Like even the villain, the like damage control guy. Like I thought making him this like relatable kind of character. Obviously he still sucks, but it's like I also feel I feel the like pressure he's under to do the quota, to do his job, or he will get in trouble. Like I feel that stuff in the writing. Even if he's bad, I can still feel bad for like a character like that, which I didn't feel in Miss Marvel or Spider-Man. So I think that's pretty cool. Sorry, the long ass rant.
Yeah, please, Jorrel. So once you tell your thoughts, I want to go look at the comments. But what do you think? What for you, your perspective? What do you think has been of us who do dig this show? Like, why are we so in love with it? Like, is it because we have literally like nothing else going on in the MCU that's from this perspective, or because again, you could say that like, okay, Doomsday, oh cool, we're gonna get the band back together. So it's not just that; it's gonna be a live aid of Marvel IPs, but we're ending a multiverse again within 7 years since Endgame, and it's like stakes, longevity. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about it, Jorrel?
I just
drop
I
it,
just
dude.
feel
Listen,
like-
we're gonna see perspective, but drop it, dude. Give it to me.
Sure. I feel that it's just different. There's nothing like substantial going on. It's just different. Like MCU fans are I don't know what's going on with them, but it's just different. And there's so much that's the same, and there's so much that's weak that alone just causes people to just be like, oh my god, and they're like overexert and shit. Because so much is the same in the MCU. So something like, I guess this different is enough to, I guess, fly shoes and pants off apparently. But I there's that, and okay, this is my biggest fucking problem with this show, man. Okay, it's as if like they are aware that I'm watching. And they're like trying to like be like, hey, look, we just mentioned Christopher Nolan. We just mentioned PTA. Whoa, right? We're talking about like the making of filmmaking. Oh my god, right? Oh my god. We just had multiple scenes shot in one take. Like, isn't that just banana pants crazy? Haven't you just never seen that before? Will you love me now? Will you love us now? And it's like, no. I mean, it's I almost came close to liking it, but someone sent me a tweet. Fuck, I should have had this prepared. But someone sent me a tweet of like all the keywords that were like mentioned in the show, like Paul Thomas Anderson, Christopher Nolan. I'm sure they mentioned the Matrix at some points. The one dude Joe is
Joey Pants.
Yeah. He was in the original Matrix film. But someone sent me like a block. It's like it looks like it was like 100 keywords where it seemed like they were trying to get the attention of someone like me, like a cinephile. It's like they were trying to appeal to the cinephiles, and it's like, I mean, I like my guy. I appreciate the attempt, but it's too on the nose. It's very basic. A lot of it's quite slow. Pretty boring. I do think that Ben Kingsley and was it Yaya? Where's this guy?
Trevor, Sir Ben Kingsley as Trevor Flattery and Yaya Abdul-Mateen II as Samuel Williams.
I think they have a quietly okay little buddy cop relationship thing going on, little rush hour action going on between the two of them. I mean, it's okay. That's another thing too. Like a lot of replay value in the MCU is low, but it like I can't even think of a reason why I would ever rewatch this again. I guess Simon and Trevor are likable. Sure, they're definitely likable. They're interesting. I see a lot of myself in Simon, to be honest with you. But again, it just feels so like it just comes across so much as like oh, look at all the stuff we did to appeal to the cinephiles. We mentioned the Criterion Collection, Jorrel. You gotta love us now. And it's like I love you, Marvel. I love you, Marvel, but you gotta try a little bit harder. And by the way, next time, instead of just referencing cinema, why don't you just actually make cinema? There's a thought. Maybe grab a 70mm IMAX camera while you're at it. There's an idea.
That's my friend. Yeah, again, I flip it because to me, that was just like, it wasn't even like you were saying, like follow us, follow me into the light. It was just like, oh, okay, like I'm not the only one who's into the Criterion Collection, and like to me that bit stuff there was just like, that was just like the throwaway stuff that I didn't mind, and like it was, especially with the audition stuff, it was just like amazing. Like, oh yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson's like surfer instructor, and
but dude. Okay, so I just found the list, right? And this is like, I'm just gonna name, but like, King Lear, Amadeus, Severance, The Matrix, Pretty Woman, Sons of Anarchy, Frozen. It's a robust list, but it's just like, guys, could you be more obvious? It'd be like, like a obnoxious product placement. It's like, guys, I see the Coke. Okay, I see the Coke can. Jesus.
I mean, I get you to a point. I don't agree, but I can get you to a point. Maybe they could have loosened up a little bit, but I think this is just the world he's in. Like, Simon is a cinephile. Simon surrounds himself by cinephiles. Like, people like me and you, we exist in the real world. Like, we are real. We're not just, a simulation. So it makes sense that it is cool seeing people like that in the real world. Was there maybe a couple of too many references? Sure. There's a couple where I could have been like, okay, maybe this one could have been cut. But it works for me. I don't know. I think 9 times out of 10, it works for me personally. I personally, I don't have an issue with it.
And again, I think I've already seen it, 2 times? 3 times now I've seen it as a whole.
I can rewatch it.
Like, maybe
that's you watched the series? You watched it 3 times?
Yeah.
My God.
I've watched
the editing and
I think it's better each go through. Like,
here's the thing.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Daren. Please, go ahead.
Like, there's a lot of those like twists in those early episodes that just hit so much harder once you know the context of everything. Like the not quite knowing what Trevor's doing in that first episode. There are so many more signs to it, and it hits so much harder when you've seen the full picture and when you've seen everything in place. It's like, holy shit. And like, their dynamic is so, for me, so palpable. Like, I think they're already one of my favorite dynamics in the last several years of the MCU. I think obviously there's some great back and forth. There's a lot of great characters we've had, but those two together have so much chemistry. They have so much. I don't know. Fuck it. Put them in Doomsday. I don't give a fuck. I'd fucking have Trevor have a shotgun against Dr. Doom. Who cares?
I've been since the episode, since the finale was out and I finished watching it. I've been championing for the longest time, even before the show came out. Do West Coast Avengers, like do something. Get out of New York, do something in Cali, and like put any superheroes that are in near California, and just put them in a room and like just follow them around and see what that's like. And like, again, Simon Williams in the comics is one of the either founders or main members of that team. It's like, it's such a new vibe they would bring than just the usual suspects that we've got in the past, 18 years. And I really feel there's a huge tapestry they can do with the character there. And people are discussing about, like, whether they should have dropped it all at once or do a weekly release. I've been thinking about it, and I still think that the weekly release is still something that is better than all at once. But again, having experienced this show, I think for the first few episodes, it was worth dropping it all at once. It's having to wait for just all that each week. And that would have felt like a drag for almost a month for that first half of the series. But I feel like they should have dropped the first maybe 3-4 episodes all at once, and then the following 2 and 2 and 2 to keep the talk going beyond this weekend.
Yeah.
Thank God they did not do that, because I think it worked way better as like a bingeable thing because episodes are so short.
30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and it is slow. I certainly would not call it a fast-paced show, that's for sure. But yeah, I think hearing about it before watching, I was like, wait, what are they doing? But it does make sense, more sense that they dropped all at once.
I think there's a compromise to be had because I can definitely see, like, I think if week 1 they only dropped episode 1, that would have been like, okay, I need a little bit more than that. I did it 2 a day. I spent 4 days doing 2 a day, and
that's how I did it. Yeah,
I had a great time with that. But also I've pitched maybe doing it what if style, maybe do 1 a day for like 8 days. I would have been open to that. I think that could have worked as a style if you wanted, but also I can also understand, even though I hate it because I love the weekly talk of it, I can also understand why they decided, because it is very bingeable. Like, I could have easily sat there in 1 day and just binged the whole thing and I would have had a great time. So I can get it. I don't think it's a like, well, Marvel doesn't care about Wonder Man. Like, I don't fully believe that narrative. There's maybe some truth to it, but like, I don't know.
Structurally,
like,
you see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see why they did it. Like, I've been even battling some people being like, they didn't promote the show. And I'm like, I don't know if I fully believe that. Like, the last month straight, you go through the like YouTube channel, there's like 20 videos. TikTok, they've run the hell out of it. They've been doing so many tweets about it. And like, I think it's had more marketing than like Zombies had, than Ironheart's had, than Eyes of Wakanda had, even the new season of Daredevil. That's like, the Wonder Man trailer came out 3 months ago. That's been 3 months full of marketing. Daredevil came out less than 2 months ahead of its season. Like, they've, like, again, maybe it could have had more marketing, but I think it's had better marketing than a lot that they've given recently. So
yeah, and I'm bringing right now a fellow friend of ours who has seen Wonder Man, but I want to also get the comment section below. We have Phil with us. Phil, how you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
What up, Phil?
Good. I do want to hear your thoughts because you have seen the show as a whole. I want to hear your least favorite and your favorite moments out of it. But before we do that, I do want to answer a lot of comments because a lot of people have been commenting. Thank you so much for anybody who's watching us live. Colombian Rican 31 says that this version of Wonder Man is the best one. I remember I used to collect the West Coast Avengers comic books back in the day, and I love this version of Wonder Man overall. I too love West Coast Avengers, and yeah, I think this is my favorite thing Yaya has done in the realm of comic books, more than Black Manta, more than Watchmen, and I really like what he did in Watchmen. But this is my favorite thing he's been given material to do with as an actor, in my opinion. Keyblade Master Jeffrey says it's weird that she knew that he had powers. Like, how did she know? Did she figure it out when they were getting it on? LOL. I just find it weird that she knows he has powers, and I think he's a mutant. Okay, I mean, damn, that's a lot.
I feel like he was pretty, like, if the damage control were able to figure him out, he was probably, and they seemed like they weren't in the healthiest relationship, and his powers seems to manifest through his emotions. Yeah. They probably had a bunch of fights, and he like turned around and did a thing, and he thought she didn't notice, but it was obvious to her or something like that.
And I think, yeah, she has the intuitive of like, okay, she's an actress, so you're the thing is supposed to sense and see a lot of stuff to get stuff as what you're doing. So like, if they've been together for a while, I think she eventually would have caught on and be like, you know what? And I love that decision. Like, she knew, but she wasn't gonna out him. She's like, no, I'll wait for you tell me when you feel the time's right for you to tell me, like, oh yeah, I have a condition, I have abilities. American says that Jeffrey, it would make sense. I mean, the person who knows you best would be your own partner, so it makes sense that she knew about his powers. I agree. Yeah. Ronan Team, the marketing of Wonder Man didn't do the show justice. The show was a lot more better. The show overall is my number one favorite MCU show. Nice. Wonder Man is the best that the MCU has provided. Damn, that's high praise right there. High praise right there. As a West Coast Avengers fan, this Wonder Man once again is the best version of Wonder Man. I want to see more of it. I agree, especially with all that stuff. Jorrel is an alternate reality. No, man, listen. There are those who see it differently. Jorrel is not going out making 5-10 videos a day of like why he's right and everybody else can fuck off. He's not. Yeah. I respect that intuitive, and I kind of was expecting it, but I was like, wait a minute, let's see, because he is a Cinephile, so I'll see how he takes that. And then when he revealed the whole like the Easter eggs, he's like, yeah, I knew he was checked out probably.
In like his defense, just a little bit, like I think this is the kind of show you're either gonna like or you're not. Like, and that's not a bad thing, but like this is a very genre heavy show, so I feel like you could end up on either side of the fence, and that's again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like everyone likes something. Like I hated Moon Knight. I thought Moon Knight's one of the worst things Marvel's ever done.
That's bad.
That is. Most people say that's hot take. Most people like belittle me for that, but I was like, it's just not my show. I couldn't get into it.
I get that, and again, especially the making of Hollywood. That's a specific genre that a lot of people aren't crazy about because a lot of people just feel like it's very masturbatory. Which, in an extent, I get that angle. But there are
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing even wrong with that. It's just that the execution,
how you go about it
of the show, like the door. Well, either way, like the Doorman episode, which I almost kind of liked because it's just so wonky and just weird and silly. But there's so many moments in that. Like there's certain like line deliveries or there's certain character moments or effects moments where I'm just like, oh my goodness, Marvel, you're so unserious. By the way, the CGI or the visual effects were quite good.
Yeah, I liked it. Like when it came out, it earned. It didn't matter when he was using his abilities.
The table shot looked incredible.
Yeah,
I that looked so good.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I feel bad because MCU fans get so emotional about the things that they love, and I feel so bad that I'm not. Well, I'm a fan myself, but post Endgame's been real rough. But I don't know. I feel bad because like I can tell it seems like borderline all of y'all are just loving this thing somehow. It's like the concepts are great. Just the execution just doesn't work for me. But at least Simon and Trevor are likable. I think they're likable. They're okay.
Again, I never gave a shit about Trevor Flattery in the MCU. And I like Ben Kingsley as a performer. I never gave a shit. And I remember at one point I talked to Phil and he mentioned like, oh, they do something with him in the finale that like he chuckled because he was like, oh, that's a thing from Iron Man 3 and whatnot. And like, you never saw me coming. I was like, oh, like to think I was like laughing and cheering for that in the year of 2026. How the fuck did they get me to do that? Like that is bar in my opinion.
I am honestly so glad they didn't go the solo series style. Not that it wouldn't have been good, because it could have been. But can you imagine the fucking whining that the fans would have done being like, who asked for this shit? The same shit we got with Agatha on fucking Coke, because people flipped when they announced Agatha. They're like, who asked for this shit? I'm like, but it was a great show. It was awesome. But like, no one would have given the show a chance. No one would have been like, I'm going to watch the guy from Iron Man 3, even though he's fantastic.
It's Sir Ben Kingsley. Put some fucking respect on that name, right?
Oh, no, he's fantastic.
I know what you mean, but I'm saying like to the moon. It's like put some fucking respect on the man's name. It's Sir Ben Kingsley. God damn it.
Oh, sure. But again, he even though I have issues with Iron Man 3, looking back at those scenes,
it's not a great movie.
He feels that role. He is really, really good as that character in that movie. I like him before.
I was talking about this last night on the Vodka stream with our buddy Ray, and I really do not like that movie. But I will say that the rewatchability slightly increases because of the things that have been done with Trevor Slattery.
Absolutely, yeah.
Only ever slightly, because even though I have to sit and muster through all the goofy nonsense that is Shane Black as a director, it's fine when Ben Kingsley's on screen, but by the time, the twist happens and he's out, and I'm like, all right, we can move on to Welcome to the King now, or All Hail the King, whatever that's called. Let's just move on from this movie. Yeah, because this movie just needs to end now. Let's just move on. Okay, that movie was that was the first movie. To Jorrel's point, a lot of people post Endgame have a lot of like, oh, what is this? The first time that happened for me, and from Marvel Studios specifically, was Iron Man 3. That was the first time I distinctly remember walking out of the theater or walking away from one of their projects being like, that was not something I enjoyed. that was a tough watch. That was hard. Even my friend who he'd seen all the MCU movies, like all the way up to Infinity War and Endgame. Even he walked out and he was like, sorry guys. It's like, dude, the movie made $1 billion, sure, but
yeah,
is the rewatchability there? I don't think so.
Yeah, like I maybe only a few scenes I go back to, and it's mostly when it's Tony and the kid. Like that may be it. But yeah, it's man, it's like Dark World. Same thing. When Endgame, I was like, all right, like Mom and Loki and that, but that is fucking it. That is fucking it. I don't give a shit about no fucking dark elves and shit. I don't care if it was directed by a guy who worked on Game of Thrones. Like it didn't hold for me. I
think there's good scenes in Iron Man 3, but as a whole, I'm not the biggest.
Yeah,
Same.
no.
Even like Iron Man 2, where it's like Iron Man 2, there are so many great moments in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
But like together as a unit, it could have connected better, which is studio shit that had happened with that one. So
yeah,
I get it a little bit, but like, yeah,
I agree. Columbia Rican says that I love that the superhero and superpowers is the backdrop of the show and it's just implied instead of being what the show is. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Agree.
Yeah, like try that once in a while and like see like how much you have to worry about that much in the budget and you just focus in on character motives and stuff. Like the rest will play it itself out, and when he does use his powers, it'll hopefully, if you play your cards right, feel earned.
It's something I've been wanting from the MCU for a while, is being able to just live in characters' lives that we haven't got in a while. Like I love that I know Simon's mother and brother and girlfriend, and I know where he works, and I know who he is. Like this comment's gonna get shit, but it reminds me of the good of the CW shows, and what worked about those shows is that you got to live in their lives, you got to be a part of their world, you got to experience what they are beyond just the superhero stuff, and it boils down what makes a good hero is who they are at the core. And I just loved just getting such an intimate relationship with these characters.
Fingers crossed they take these notes to the X-Men, please. Finger crossed. Jeffrey says we need more of this version of Wonder Man. Like the show needs to go for at least 2 more seasons. Yeah, and again, even if we don't get another season, don't let these characters fall by the wayside. Like the wayside, please. Like don't forget about them. Like bring them back because they are a gem now that they've added to the MCU. Says that let me ask you, do you think now that the story and origin part is complete with the season, if there is a scene, do you think it'll be more action packed? Usually, sometimes that mostly happens, but after how long they have been holding this show, because again, strikes happen, a lot of stuff happen, they can feel like, okay, we don't have to rush to do another one, but like, okay, people liked it. Let's not drop the ball of why we made someone care about Wonder Man, who for the longest time since fucking, what was it? Guardians 2, that there was a poster, but then it got cut from the movie. They're like, oh, we might get, Simon Williams. And it's like, this was in the talks to join the MCU for a longest time. Like, don't. And now you got something with Yaya and Sir Ben Kingsley. Don't go dropping the ball just because you feel like you have to rush to make a bank now for the studio thing. No, take your time with it if you want to revisit these characters or not. If this is sadly the last we see of them, what a hell of a way to send off. No pun intended. Characters at the very end.
I'd argue if they do a season 2, it would have to be more action packed with like how it ends with like breaking him out of the like high security prison. Like I assume they're going to be on the run, or if they're not on the run, they're cutting a deal and they have to do something for damage. Like I don't like they can't just be like, all right, they're filming Wonder Man 2. No, like I feel like it would have to at least shift the genre at least a little bit. Not saying there can't be acting elements in season 2, but like and also like we end it with him having trained in his powers and being more equipped as like a hero, if you will, or at least someone with powers. So I would assume if there is a second season or a special or he's in Avengers or something, it will be more action packed.
Yeah. I don't know this guy, JK. I know, LOL. Taj was in the chat. Taj, if you're still there, thanks for stopping by, man. What's up, Taj? What's up, chat? Taj, I think you've been Spider-Man. Phil saying what's up when you enter the building. If you watch the Trevor arc in chronological order with Iron Man 3, Shang-Chi, and the Hall of the King, and then Wonder Man, his character is so good, well written. Again, I think rewatchability will help because of the character's journey where he's gone at this point.
Hmm.
I binged it, watched it in both Spanish and English. Well done, amigo. Well done. And it was awesome watch and well written. I watched the first 4 episodes, then watched the last 4 the next day. That's another unique way to do it.
Yeah.
That to experience it, be like, all right, how does the first half feel compared to the second half?
That's what Ironheart did, right? They did like 4 one week before the other.
I
would
be wrong, but yeah,
for that I think than the binge.
Yeah, I should have done that. I watched it straight through. I could have enjoyed it a lot more if I watched it the way you did. All right, I think. Oh Jesus, there's still more. I know I was just playing. That's cool, Colombian Rican. I get that Iron Man 3 was hard to watch, but now that Trevor Slattery's character has been more established, go back to see how Ben Kingsley has put these characters to life is master class. Phil, talk to me. Least favorite moment and favorite moment, and then how do you feel about these characters in the future? TBD.
I'm gonna have to watch this show again because that's what I always do with the MCU shows once it's all said and done. But the thing is like this was all in one go, right? So I have to watch it again. I would just say that my least favorite thing that happened was, I don't know. I don't know that I have a least favorite thing. I quite enjoyed myself with this show more than I expected, but I'm a little biased. I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. I think he's a great actor, and I thought he was pretty pitch. I don't really know much about Simon Williams, the character from Marvel Comics. I don't. I'll admit that, but I had fun with the show. It reminded me a lot of the Studio, the Seth Rogen show that he did last year. It's really great. It's really good. It's same concept, let's poke fun at Hollywood. And I think the interesting thing I have behind this is something I've been saying for a while, is like what happens when the studio who makes superhero movies decides to make a series about making a superhero movie, like fourth wall break in the most fourth wall break way possible. And I think they did it pretty effortlessly. And I think it's just kind of a shame that like it only had the 1 week drop, but they're still kind of recovering from the strikes and COVID and things like that. And, change up in leadership from the topper side, not necessarily Marvel per se, but, between Chapek and Iger, and navigating the theatrical and streaming market as the way that they have. Disney Plus not doing what Disney thought it was going to do. They've just kind of had a rougher time with phase 4 or 5. And hopefully, phase 6. It seems like phase 6, just on the critical reception side of things, it seems like Wonder Man is going to be a positive W, like with the last few. For me personally, again, like I don't know that I have like a least favorite moment. I think my favorite moment again was the one I told Ronan about in the finale, where Slattery dons the Mandarin shit again to save Simon. And I was like, wow, that is superbly compelling. Holy shit. It was insane. And it was funny because I thought back to, wow, I used to despise and not like this character, and now he did something to save somebody. That is so wild to me that is capable, like a big 180 like that is capable from something like this. And this is only something that a longtime fan like me could get something fulfilled out of, I think. And this also coming from someone who doesn't really like Iron Man 3, but I love Shang-Chi. I thought Shang-Chi and Legend of Ten Rings was phenomenal, really great movie. And even his part in that movie was interesting too. I was like, okay, fine, let's have the drunk actor from Iron Man 3 along for the ride, and he was actually quite a fun supporting character in that movie. So to see him come back for this and to see him in a way, he's kind of taking center stage, because in a sense he's the mentor, whereas Simon is the mentee. And if you pay the first episode, you watch and you immediately understand why Simon is not getting roles. It's because he starts out as one of those actors who tries to control the situation every which way possible. And it's like, no, you can't really do that. And I used to act as a kid. I took film classes in college and in high school. And I would just say that when it comes to just acting in general, you also pay anyone who's in this kind of circle, you've paid attention to actors and actresses, you've paid attention to directors and writers, and you understand that there is a symbiotic relationship there that you can not fiddle with. right?
Yeah.
Like things are done the way that they are done. They are choreographed the way they are choreographed. You cannot fuck with the sauce. And this is not just exclusive to actors. This is writers. This is producers. Hell, it's sometimes even directors. But the first episode of where you see Simon to by the end of it, where he is at the end of it, and how he handles the situation, that's also a really cool nod to Simon Williams in the comics. This is something I did know. He has like a red jumpsuit attire in Marvel Comics. Like, okay, giving him that for the red carpet. This is how you take a character who's so obscure and their origins being tied to Hollywood and making a series about it in the way that they did, basically taking a entourage studio approach to it of like, let's poke fun at the Hollywood side of things with Simon Williams as an actual actor, but he has to keep his powers under wraps. And I firmly am in the camp that he is probably a mutant. I don't doubt that one bit. That is probably why the DODC is after him, because they went after Kamala Khan. Who's the other character they've gone after?
Doorman.
Right. So, it's not a coincidence, right? And we know that the X-Men are going to be in Avengers Doomsday, and they have been teased throughout Phase 4 and 5 in some fashion or another. I think for the sake of Marvel cinematic continuity, they're probably going to wind up making Wonder Man a mutant, and I'm fine with that. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I really, really dug it. But my favorite bit was probably the finale episode where Trevor kind of gives it up. But also just seeing the thing that Simon Williams, the beautiful thing about the finale was Simon Williams sat there in a theater with his whole family watching a movie that he made. That is success in the most purest form possible. And that's something anyone can relate to. Like anyone who has fought and struggled and, bled to get where they are, to get that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's relatable.
I'm waiting for that moment. Yeah.
I love that line of dialogue and just the way they do it with the flashbacks with his father, where he's like, someday I'm going to see you up there. You're going to be up there. And it hits like, not only is he on the big screen, he's literally in the same movie that they went to see, and he's like, you're going to be up there. He got when they mentioned the glasses, but I always wanted the glasses just like this, and he got I got teary-eyed. And I also love they didn't have to there wasn't a tragic backstory for his dad. I was waiting to be like, oh no, he accidentally killed his father with his. No, he just died. It was probably a heart attack or a car crash, or it didn't matter why he died, but we still felt his impact there with just very smart dialogue, with very well placed scenes, and how it's written is I feel like I know this father with 2 minutes of screen time, maybe 3.
The cough, that was the one that got me. I was like, oof, what a cough. Like, you might need the day off, right? All right, let's go. We're gonna watch a movie. Like, oh,
it's so good.
So beautiful. Clement Rican does say, I wonder if we do get a West Coast Avengers movie. We definitely need this Wonder Man, She-Hulk, which oddly I enjoyed despite its issues. Ironheart and Kate Bishop would not be awesome.
I don't think it's a coincidence that those characters are there, right? Like Ant-Man, She-Hulk, and now Wonder Man, all based on
Shang-Chi. Like, that's a lineup. That's a California. That's a lineup.
California, right? Exactly. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think West Coast Avengers is a possibility. I think it'd be cool.
I think a lot more Avengers stuff is happening than we think. I think
it'd be nice.
I could see Secret Wars ending with there being this is
multiple
the hub
different Avengers.
The Avengers, but there was multiple different teams. You have the main Avengers, you have new Avengers, you have champions, you have West, and then you can have every couple years you can have a new Avengers movie, but it's a different team, so it doesn't feel tired, it doesn't feel overdone, because it's I haven't seen the new Avengers since blah blah blah, and now it's champions and blah blah, So I think that would be cool. They've done right.
Not close to the comic, but War Machine can be replaced with Ironheart, and Kate Bishop can replace Hawkeye, and it would fit well. That'd be nice. We already have U.S. Agent, and this U.S. Agent we have already is well made. I agree. He is part of the West Coast Avengers. So if they send Walker to Cali, I'd be like, all right, dude, you go to Cali, you gotta take over there. Please don't fuck it up. Don't get caught in 4K. Don't do none of that shenanigan stuff.
Can I mention my favorite scene while we're
Yes,
on
yes,
that?
please.
I love the scene from episode 3 with his mom and Trevor. I love that piece of dialogue where it's like,
He never had a friend.
yeah, like he never had friend. He was always lonely, and now you came along, and thank you for being his friend. That broke my heart. Like, you're the only friend he's ever had. Broke my heart because the only friend he's ever had is about to betray him, is about to like ruin his life. It's like, and just how that entire third act of episode 3 builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. It's brilliant. It's so good to me.
I love that in the end, because again, they could have ended it literally at the premiere. That's it.
Mhm.
You made it. But then they go on and like you see how it's almost like a triple dance. Simon is learning the craft, diving into a character study. He's planning his escape for Trevor, and he's actually finding humility and like finding the everyday person and like helps him out. Be like, all right, someone deposited money, he could leave that job. And then I love the choice of like, we're not going this way, and they just fly out and like they start playing the Everybody's Talking song. For those who didn't catch it, that song was used in Midnight Cowboy, which is the movie they went to go see at the theater, which is what they meet up. And like there's a little bit of parallel between Hoffman and Boyd's characters in Midnight Cowboy and Ben Kingsley and Yaya's characters in Wonder Man, the show. And I even love how the Wonder Man movies plot was mimicking what was going to happen in their lives. Like, oh, Barry betrays him, but he's his best friend. And it's like, I love those parallels that they were doing between the show. Yeah, man, I want to see these characters again. I want
Joe Pantoliano doing his own cameo.
Dude, and him being a dick.
Was funny. That was pretty funny.
Him being a
The
dick
playoff
is
of him replacing him again for the second time is so fucking funny. And then how they take it even further, being like, who replaced me? Was it De Niro? It's like,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's so good.
The last main thing I want to talk about Wonder Man before we switch over to the other topic is
shift gears.
Is mutant or not mutant? So this is where I'm wondering if they're gonna make him a mutant or not, because they have done that already with Kamala Khan, and I feel like if they do the mutant thing, cool, but if they don't do the mutant thing, and I've been telling you boys that like this is the perfect like example of like if later down the line when we're going full on X-Men mutants era, there is no excuse to not do Dazzler, Alison Blair, and you like it's almost parallel. She wants to be Taylor Swift, she wants to be Sabrina Carpenter, she wants to be the pop star of the world, but she's a mutant. How do you deal with that? And like I am hoping they explore that. And at the very least, if he's not a mutant, someone damn well better tell him like, hey, just go to Westchester, New York, hang out on the weekend. Go see some therapy. There's this bald guy in a chair, and it's his furry friend. They'll help you out with your
benefit from it. Like he's still dealing with the same ramifications that X-Men have to go through. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't need him to be a mutant. I don't want him to be like a part of the like X-Men, at least the main team, at least. Like he can make a cameo or something, but like I don't need it to be like, guys, he is a mutant, he's a mutant. But I think just like he was born with powers, I think makes sense to me. Like it doesn't seem like there is a spider bite or an explosion or an experiment gone wrong. He's just probably always had powers. I don't know, maybe his dad had powers, probably not, but who knows, maybe maybe it's passed down, I don't know. But like I think it's still the same effect of him being a mutant, just he was born with it, it's fine.
How do you feel, Jorrel? Phil, how do you guys feel about it? You think like it needs to be mutant, or you're like, you know what, it doesn't have to be mutant, but like make him aware eventually when you do X-Men, like it wouldn't hurt to like cross paths with them.
I mean, I guess at least for Wonder Man particularly, I mean, I don't know, I don't really care if he was a mutant or if he was sort of just not born a mutant. He was just born with these godlike powers or whatever, strange, or he acquired these traits genetically for whatever reason. But I don't know. I'm more story based, so it doesn't really matter to me. I guess gun to my head, he doesn't need to be a mutant. This seems like kind of extremely obvious. Like that's what I would assume they would do. So maybe don't do that.
Yeah, I get that. How about you, Phil?
I think it's a strong possibility. They deliberately went out of their way to let us know that Kamala Khan is probably a mutant.
Yeah.
Right.
They play the fucking theme.
Didn't do that with Wonder Man, but it is a prevailing theory. And, from what I remember about Wonder Man is there's some ties to Vision there too. And I don't think that Marvel Studios is going to do any of that. No. If they did, that would be another step wild direction that Marvel could go if they really wanted to. It would matter of if they will. I doubt it. But I don't know. I think that, there's a reason why the DODC is after him, and we haven't quite gotten all the details as to why. I think they're keeping the origin of his powers vague for a reason. So he could be. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens after Secret Wars.
Out of curiosity, as someone who doesn't do as much with the comics, where does he originally get his powers?
I honestly I don't remember.
Because I know nothing about Wonder Man. Like, I think I saw him in like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but that's it. Like, that's all I have.
I think that's the closest to his origin that they've done, because he was initially a villain in the 4th Avengers book back in the 60s. He's existed for the longest time, and it wasn't until like the 70s, 80s when George Perez was in charge of the Avengers they started doing something with him and gave him the redesign that like the 80s movie in this world is based on. Like, that was his superhero suit. The suit that Simon is wearing is more of Ultimate or like modern era version of Wonder Man.
Apparently in the comics, due to this thing right here, Baron Zemo did an experiment on him. So it's like experiment gone wrong, or like artificially induced powers, I guess. Which doesn't work here in the MCU, so I get why they didn't do that. And
again, like, even I think the Roxxon company, like, you see in that trash thing where like they're whatever that dark dimension thing is apart, it connects. I've heard that like it connects to Cloak and Dagger. Like, there's more of that stuff. It's like, which is why I feel like don't just go into mutant straight up because he has powers. Like, Destin
did this show. He's doing New York. Cloak and Dagger's in New York. Like, there is a pipeline there that you
connectivity.
I'm not saying they're going to be in it. I doubt it. But, like, it's fun to just, like, they could do the thing.
If they lean into it. Yeah, I agree. Folks, that'll be our review spoilers of Wonder Man. You can go check out all our separate coverage of it across all our shows. But now we're going to switch spots to another topic that I found. I was like, no one's making a big deal of it, but I'm like, you know what? It's fascinating to see, and involves someone that our dear friend Phil loves so much.
I don't hate him.
I know. It has been 3 years since James Gunn announced that DC Studios was going in on a new journey and starting its first chapter called Gods and Monsters. And initially, at that time, if I'm not mistaken, the lineup was this one. This was showing the stuff from the old remnants of the DCEU era.
Yep. What
they had been announced, which was like 12 projects. I forget the number it was, but like 10. It's a ton of shit that they had announced. And now you look at it now, and again, this video was 3 years ago. Now we have this. This is what's happening in our neck of the woods this year. What happened this past year? What's happening now? I think Supergirl should be there. Oh no, yeah, there she is over there. 3 years in, that announcement, DC Studios. How do we feel about where the DC Studios is at? And when you think we'll get an update for the stuff down the line? Or do you think we're gonna have to wait till most of these projects are finally out into the public?
You're muted,
Jorrel.
Sorry. Can you flash that picture one more time?
So this was the original announcement. The middle bottom, the top, which is the remnants of the old DCEU era. That was the initial announcements. Paradise Lost, Booster Gold, The Authority, Waller, Swamp Thing, Commandos, Lanterns, and then today, this is
That
what's
one.
come out thus far for the most
Thank
part.
you. That's the one. Okay.
I need
What
I
the
would
hell
like-
is Dynamic Duo?
the animated Robin movie. It's out.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
I would like another I don't know, presentation or something. 'Cause there's
Update.
been so many fucking projects that he's announced or rumored to be announced that he hasn't quite confirmed that I'm like, I don't even know what's all in the works anymore. What's up with freaking the Blue Beetle series? What's up with, Starfire series? And where's, I don't know. I think that might be my biggest problem right now is I feel like there's so many irons in the fire that it's hard to keep track right now of what's actually coming. I don't know.
I'll go last, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it. How do you guys feel about what we've gotten out of DC in film and television? You liking where we're going? Do you think that we should get an update now? You want to wait till most of these projects that are coming out this year are out to hear an update? How are we feeling about DC right now outside of the comics? Because the comics are
Phenomenal.
the absolute universe is just blowing up comic books right now.
Yeah, DC Comics is phenomenal. They're putting in work and they're putting out quality, and it is amazing.
Yeah.
As for these studios, on the other hand, that's
You are right. My bad.
Well, I didn't like Superman, but I'm in the minority on that. That's that much I can acknowledge. I don't know about everyone else. I can only speak for myself, and I again fully acknowledge I'm in the minority. I know for sure I'm looking forward to Lanterns and Supergirl as well. Clayface was kind of a fun surprise, and written by Mike Flanagan, so we'll see how that turns out. As for the future, cautious at best, I suppose. I don't know. We don't really know what's coming, right? We have no idea what's coming post Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we know, and I say that as far as the DCU specifically is concerned, because Batman Part 2 comes out after that. And we don't know what project is coming next. If I had to guess, if Supergirl is a W, then I would probably venture to guess that maybe Wonder Woman, written by Ana Noguera. Noguera. I feel really bad if I butcher her fucking name.
Ana Noguera. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. She's the scribe of the Supergirl film, and she was tapped to write Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised to see I would not be shocked to see a Wonder Woman movie somewhere in the future.
Yeah. Batman's
a whole different conversation. And
the whole rabbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two rabbit holes. Fucking Matt Reeves and then Brave and the Bold.
Right. And my problem with that is, there's a rumor about who is writing that movie, and it's not confirmed. The Hollywood Reporter just regurgitated the bullshit that Jeff Snyder put out.
Yeah.
And James Gunn has not said she is writing that movie. And I'm very curious about that. And I'm very, I'm looking at that with a side eye, because he had no problem confirming Ana Noguera for both Supergirl and Wonder Woman very, very quickly. So why is he being so cagey about Brave and the Bold? If I had to venture a guess, if I had to venture a guess, it's because I think she's writing a draft of this movie. Someone else is probably also writing a draft of this movie. If I had to venture to guess, they are probably given the bare bones of you have to write a movie about Batman, Damian, Bat Family. There you go. And here's why the thing also doesn't add up, because the Hollywood Reporter also said, according to their sources, that Christina Hodson's apparently had this since last fall. Well, if that's the case, why did James Gunn say earlier last year, that he's working closely with the writer of Brave and the Bold when he did that spread for, I believe it was Vanity Fair, the black and white spread? It was right around the time Superman came out. So who was writing Brave and the Bold before then? Because if that's the case, it wasn't Christina Hodson. something doesn't add up with that, and there's a reason why he did not
Mhm.
confirm her to being writing that movie. And everyone being like, "Oh, but Jeff Snyder said," I don't give a shit what Jeff Snyder said. He doesn't work at DC Studios, so why are you giving him money? And I know none of you guys are smart enough to give him money, but seriously, it's just funny to me that people think that is happening, and it could. It very well could be the case. Like, it very well could be the case that at the end of the day, maybe James Gunn is looking at her script and being like, you know what, this could be our Batman Brave and the Bold movie. But
Yeah.
it could also be someone else's script that he's looking at, being like, could be this. I don't know.
And it goes to like, well, wait a minute, he hasn't denied it yet. And it's like, well, is that a non-denial denial? Or is that like a confirmation that like, well, he hasn't denied it, so like, it's a go? And it's like, yeah, a lot of the reports, especially from Jeff, who, I do watch the hot mic, I do hear the thoughts. I always take with a grain of salt because a lot could change from now to release date. And if it is Christina Hodson who is doing the script, I'm intrigued by it because for the most part, I've liked her stuff, her work in films. And to me, it just, because the whole title thing is like, where are we at right now? 3 years after this video was out. And like, again, I don't need you to tell me the next 5 movies you're gonna do, because A, they're probably not in development yet. They're not even written yet, and it goes against everything you said. Like, we're not gonna shoot anything until we have a script that we're set to go. I was like, okay, cool, fine, but like,
tell me about the thing you greenlight. Tell me about the thing you just greenlit, right? Like, tell us about that. Like,
yeah,
come on.
like, and again, I would take this over the instant replies to threads. Like, if he had not done that for a little bit while, this would have been a great opportunity to be like, this is where we're at right now with, like, I don't know, James Mangold's Swamp Thing, which is one of the big things I'm looking for. I'm like, yo, how are we doing? Like, is Mangold gonna work on anything with Timothy Chalamet? Okay, cool. Now I know not to lower my expectations about that and his Star Wars movie that I'm also still intrigued by it. And like, again, like I think even Phil said it, like, right now, just make damn sure that Supergirl and Lanterns is good.
Yep.
Because those are pivotal characters.
They are.
Please, it's like, no, both are pivotal characters. One based off a highly regarded comic book miniseries graphic novel in Woman of Tomorrow. The other is, you're giving us first time officially, because we were going to get another live action Jon Stewart a few years ago in another regime. We're going to get Jon Stewart live action first time officially, and this is going to be our second Hal Jordan live action, probably the first proper one in place. And it's, again, foundational stuff. And again, it's all about just keep us in the loop. It's that line from Dark Knight, just keep us in the loop. Like, don't just go for shadow. And I'm not saying you have to do the same thing that the Marvel studios do, which is like show up every year at a Comic-Con panel, but like, it goes a long way when we know that, like, okay, well, it's a lot of stuff just pivots, which I don't mind pivots. Pivots happen in the industry all the time. There's a book gonna be written in a few years about Star Wars and all the pivots they had to do for various reasons. But it's just keeping us in the loops to be like, okay, if you really don't want us to listen to scoopers and all these stuff, then play ball, because they're the ones who, for better or for worse, are in the webcams, are engaging with people, and it's like, you need that angle. And again, it goes to show, like, how's the structure going of, like, do you work on a project right now, or do you make sure everything else is being shepherded in? Which, who knows how this year's going to turn out. I always said it. Last year was the first year, and it was full Gunn. This year is the first year where he's not directing or writing anything. And how's that going to the future of the DC?
This year is the make or break for me. If I'm going to be invested in this universe going forward, I need to see what this universe's flavor is without Gunn. Because I like Gunn to a point. I like a lot of his movies, but I have this year burned me out. Like, I liked Superman, but I didn't love Superman. I liked Peacemaker. I didn't love Peacemaker. I liked Creatures. I didn't love Creatures. And I don't, for me personally, I don't like that as your 3 starting points. I don't think it's
That's fair.
The strongest start to a cinematic universe we've had. And to just go back just like a second to talk about I am scared about having about 20 projects in the works at the same time. Because this is the same thing Marvel ran into post Endgame, is we have all these projects we're announcing before they're ready. We still haven't seen Blade. It took 5 years to get Fantastic Four, and I was burnt out talking about these movies. I'm there right now with Batman Part 2. I'm excited for that movie. That movie's going to be great. I don't want to talk about it until we're filming. I don't want to talk about it again until we're ready, because we have talked about someday we're going to get Swamp Thing. Someday we're going to get Booster Gold. I just don't love that mentality. I get tired of talking about these movies for all this time. I want to be like, okay, 2 years from now, we're going to get Booster Gold, or, whatever the thing is. And again, hopefully once we get further away from the writer's strike, that will fix up. We'll get a more clear idea of what they're doing, especially if things like Supergirl Clayface does well. We can be like, okay, we're getting these projects out. We're going ahead. But yeah, I think, I'm just going to say, I think the slate in 2022, was that it? Was that
23?
23.
I think the way they did it was a mistake. I understand why they did. They wanted to give confidence in a new future, but I don't think they should have. I don't know. I think it was too much from the get-go. I think they should have came out and been like Superman, Peacemaker, Supergirl. Those be the three we're starting with. Or like maybe, like at the time it was probably like Authorities, because that was the plan. That was supposed to be the second movie at the time. Something like that. Be like, these are the three we're focusing on. See you next year with more updates. And then that'd be the thing. But also, hey, here's Blue Beetle, Flash, Shazam 2, and the stuff at the time they were trying to market and stuff like that.
Yes, Lance, there was a writer's strike. It happened. You might have missed it, but like it was a big deal for the fall Christmas era.
Maybe another one soon.
I did just want to say really quick, some quick thoughts
Yes.
about at least the state of the DCU. I did like Superman. I thought it was good. I wasn't like crazy about it or something, but I thought it was at least likable. I think Supergirl just looks bad, period. Lantern seems intriguing. I'm not sure why they keep just showing us the two main leads just walking around in jackets so far, but I'm very intrigued though. Is it on HBO or no? Or did I?
HBO Max, that's where it's gonna go. Yeah, I think
okay.
late summer. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm intrigued by Lanterns. I'm not. This sounds so bad to say, but the second I found out that Mike Flanagan is not directing Clayface, my excitement just grew wings and flew out a window. Now he still wrote it,
yes.
So I can't just like ignore it or skip it. But good God, the fact that he's not directing, what in the flying fuck happened there? What a missed opportunity to really get me like, oh yeah, I'm there, I'm locked in. I love Mike, but I don't know. I gotta be really sold on that one. I don't even know what the dynamic thing was. What was it, dynamic duo or some shit?
Yeah. Like a new revolutionary animation with puppeteering. That it's a story about the
Playbox Studios.
There you go. Yeah.
Superman 2, I am legitimately intrigued by, for sure. Very, very interested. Maybe very too strong, but I'm interested though. As far as this whole like, what I think about like how they're setting up multiple projects. Like I one of you said, like, is a make or break here? I was like, whoa. I guess for me personally, it's just such early days for me. It's so early. I hear where you guys are coming from, but like, I mean, we are quite literally like at the razor's edge of the knife. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like first footprints on the moon type of shit. So it's like for me, I don't really mind that, the beginning's been a little bit messy. They sort of just vomited out 20 things, and probably like 3 of those things have been like actually happening or something. It's like, I don't really mind. Like, I've been to the MCU, for God's sakes, whatever.
Well, I mean, you just brought up a great point. The MCU started off with the intent of having Iron Man, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Initially, it was supposed to be Iron Man and Ant-Man.
Sure.
And Ant-Man got delayed from phase 1 all the way to the very end of phase 2.
Happened. Yeah.
Shit happens.
No, and it 100% does happen. And like, just to like clarify, I don't think it's a make or break for the studio itself. They'll be fine. They're fine. I just meant for my personal interest. I think it would be a lot harder for me to keep going if I don't like the 3 that come out this year. Like, if there's 6 projects in and I'm like, all right, maybe I don't want to go with it. I probably will, but still, it's just that general excitement wise.
Sure.
But like even that, like I think not to keep comparing it to the MCU because I don't think that's fair. They're different studios, they're different people. But like you started that with Iron Man, which I think is one of the greatest starting points to a universe. The Arrowverse started with Arrow Season 1 and Arrow Season 2. Say what you want about Man of Steel. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but that is a huge kicking out of the gate movie. That is a huge, like, whoa, they're doing something big and bombastic. Like, that is something to be said for it. Where, like, I kind of feel like this one, they're kind of just like, walking through, being like, hey guys, here's a movie, here's a show. I don't know. It's not grabbing me in the way that I want a new universe to be like. I need more of this right now. I'm kind of at. I'll be there. All right, I'll be there for this stuff. And again, I think this year could be it. I think Lanterns could be incredible. I think Supergirl could be incredible. I think Clayface is going to be this underdog hit that no one expects. I think it could be like oh my god, that's an incredible movie. So I again, that's just what I mean by like make and break year for me.
I think that's fair. I just, for me, like, despite me being an MCU fan, for me, I think a lot of Phase 1 is bad. And so I can be a little forgiving in these early moments with the DCU. If like 3 years from now, like we're more or less at the same spot and things are like underwhelming, like, all right, then I might be in your camp. But I'm willing to let them fuck up a bit. You know what I mean? It's interesting that some MCU stands are like, like Phase 1 was like perfect, and it's like my brother in Christ, God tier level casting aside, the casting in the MCU is fantastic. That aside, is Iron Man, Avengers, and I'm just out. I know that might like blow people's minds, but for Phase 1,
no, I've heard that sentiment before.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't fully agree, but like I get it. And like, I mean, here's the thing. My take: the MCU has never had a glory days. It's always been hills and valleys. Every phase was hills and valleys. Even like the newest stuff. Like not to get off on a tangent, but like I think like Phase 4 and 5, there's higher highs, but there's lower lows. So I think people look at the first 3 sagas and it's like they were great. It's like, yeah, but they also had their downfalls. Like it wasn't always this perfect masterpiece, at least till like Phase 3, as I think what people imagine the entire saga.
Well, there was also this perception throughout Hollywood that Marvel Studios could do virtually no wrong, and that their way of making superhero movies was dominant. Yeah. Because at the height of it, I would argue after Age of Ultron, when people were like, oh, well, that was cool. When Civil War happened and Doctor Strange and everything leading into Infinity War and Endgame, that is when I think online MCU fans were at their most pompous, number one, but also that was really when the MCU hit its boiling point and everyone wanted to, talk to fucking Chris Pratt for Guardians 2. Everyone wanted to talk to, Doctor Strange because he's going to be in the next Avengers movie. Like everyone wanted a piece of what was going on in Marvel, and everyone wanted to know. And everyone sung their praise. Every movie that came out, every single movie from Civil War to Endgame, got nothing but fulsome praise. Even Captain Marvel, which looking back on, fans don't talk about that movie fondly now, but look at it from a fucking statistical perspective. Like people went and saw that movie and it made $1 billion. Yeah, because it was sandwiched in between 2 Avengers movies, sure. But people were like, oh, this is Marvel, love it.
Yeah. And I think Phase 2 and 3, I mean, obviously to say that I have issues, but Phase 2 and 3 are pretty awesome for the most part. Goddamn it! All right, that's when I like became a fan personally. Like I said, I only got like 2 films out of Phase 1, but I would argue that Iron Man and Avengers 1 are just the strongest part of Phase 1 in my eyes. But goddamn, Phase 2, and because I think Guardians was introduced.
Guardians was a big one, I think, for them. Like that and Ant-Man, because they're like, are these gonna work after years of like? Yeah. And the fact that Guardians like lit up like fucking crack, and then Ant-Man be like, okay, they went with this. All right, I guess we'll put him in Civil War, and then we'll meet up with these guys down the line when we do our big purple evil man at the end of it. And like again, people forget that, like, especially their point of view. And like I remember feeling it because I was like, I like for Phases 4 and 5. The shows have been better for me than the movies, but that doesn't mean that all of them are aces. Especially, and also even with the movies, I'm also the guy that defends Eternals, like fucking. And like I tell people, remember, no one had done what Marvel had done beforehand, so there was no playbook. It's the same thing with Star Wars back in '77. There was no playbook for that type of thing going forward. It's only now that when somebody else is doing a similar thing, different, unique, with history behind both companies, that like there's either an expectation or a way of going about it, or a different way of going about it that people aren't used to, which is like holding back a lot, which people aren't used to now, especially in the day and age where like we want those clicks and we want to know everything now. Which sometimes I fall for that. And I think to me that the matter goes to like keeping us in the loop and the engagement going, not just on threads, because something that I know people, this fair criticism to be had was the showcase, the podcast they had, DC podcast, and even now the Marvel podcast. Those things should be the thing to keep the engagement going, and not just waiting that like, are they going to leak another Avengers Doomsday teaser? Is that what's going to go? Like, no, you keep the engagement going with the fan base while still keeping us in the dark, and not hoping that stuff doesn't leak or reveal too much of what we're planning ahead of time. Got you, Phil. And I don't know. To me, just please do right by Millie as Kara, do right by Aaron and Kyle as John and Hal, respectively. And I don't know. I'm not saying again, like I said, they don't have to do the Marvel Studios thing, but since DC Studios has started, they haven't had a big panel at Comic-Con, which usually is a big statement. They've had a panel with stuff in their studios, like Peacemaker had a panel. I think the Penguin had a panel and whatnot, but like have a DC Studios panel. And again,
aren't they going somewhere soon? Didn't they announce like recently they were doing? Is it CinemaCon? Is that it?
CinemaCon happens in April, which I have a strong feeling that like if they play the cards right, they might show stuff for Supergirl.
They probably
maybe a tiny bit of Clayface stuff there. Now, again, nothing confirmed, but like if I was there and I'm a few months away from release, that'd probably be a good time to drop an official trailer and show, especially the press and the exhibitors, be like, "Yo, you're gonna want this in your theaters."
He may also just drop something for Man of Tomorrow too, because that movie will go into production right around the time CinemaCon.
And next week is Super Bowl. So like in a week times, we could be talking about. It could be a whole shift in 8 days. A whole shift of like, are we gonna get a Lanterns teaser? Are we gonna get a Supergirl teaser? Are we gonna get a Clayface first look? Like it's a lot of stuff could change. I mean, but just
we we still don't know the cast of Man of Tomorrow. Like we know some, and a lot are like rumored. But like I'd be out here saying, "Oh yeah, we have Supergirl in this movie." We don't technically know that. That has not technically been confirmed. They commented under the announcement, but that doesn't mean anything, right? So I can see them just being like, "Hey, we have a couple of people out on stage, just come out," and it'd be like David, Lois, Lex, and then like it's Supergirl, Peacemaker, and something.
They're probably gonna bring out the guy playing Brainiac too.
Yeah. So just have a couple people. It's Green Lantern here. He's in. Just stuff like that. Just kind of hype it up.
When it comes to my own, I guess, hyper interest to the DCU, I learned very quickly with Superman and Creature Commandos, but like I know what I like from James Gunn, and I know what I don't like from James Gunn. So when I walked out of Superman, I was like, that was absolutely not for me. I already knew after watching season 1 of Peacemaker, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not watching the second season of that. And I still haven't seen it. I don't want to watch it. I don't need to. Everything was already online by the time I saw it. So I was like, okay, cool. I don't even have to watch it. I know that he's on some prison planet and they're doing some form of salvation. So it's like, okay, cool. And I'm not even trying to be spiteful or jerkish about it. It's just, no, I know what I want from DC and I know like what I don't want. And to be brutally honest, like there are things that James Gunn does as a creative that I'm like, yeah, cool, man, do your thing. And then there are things that he does as a director and a writer. And I'm like, brother, why?
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those weird things. And I, again, when it came to that Superman movie, I was just like, no. And so when it comes to Man of Tomorrow, I have very conflicted feelings because Brainiac is my favorite Superman villain of all time. And he's going to be in a movie written and directed by James Gunn, who made arguably my least favorite Superman movie of all time. So I'm like, here we are.
I mean, for me, it's like I like Superman, so I think Superman's good personally. But again, I understand where you come from. I'm not crazy about it. For me, the way that you feel is how I feel about Supergirl. What am I missing? Help me out here, because I think
I read the
Supergirl,
book. I don't know. I'm not acting like you didn't, but my intrigue from that not only comes from the fact that I read the book. I like Millie Alcock. Yeah. I think they threw in Lobo in there because, like, reading the book is a good story, but there's nothing like extravagantly superbly DC about it. Throwing Lobo in the movie is a nice, like, hey, DC fans, here you go.
Yeah.
And also, Lobo was initially supposed to be in the book anyway, but he couldn't be because DC editorial was like, sorry, Tom King. And Tom King was like, all right, fine, whatever. So when DC Studios decided to do the movie, I wouldn't doubt Tom King probably went, hey, let's use Lobo.
Can we do it? Yeah.
And James Gunn was like, yeah, we can do it. I give the okay. Of course we can fucking do it. So
I mean, that was his first text, right? Like when James Gunn got the deal, it was Jason being like, let me be Lobo. Motherfucker. Like, so like when it was mentioned for Lobo, they're probably like, yeah, make the fans like that is the most like brain dead. Fine, be Lobo for God's sake. It
is them doing that is equivocal to Marvel putting James Marsden, Patrick Stewart, and Ian McKellen in proper X-Men attire.
You read my mind. I was like, yo,
just like whatever, who cares?
It is that equivocal level of like, let's just do it to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not? And I think, the trailers are good. I'm more excited for Supergirl than I was for Superman. Like and that's also because like I read the book. I like the main actress. I don't care that they made Krem look like a gremlin. I don't give a shit because let me tell you, in today's society, had they made Krem a debonair, good-looking dude, kind of terrorizing and being a predator towards two girls, wouldn't be a very good look on a big-budget movie.
Yeah, like, no, you don't want that heat already going into it because you already know people are gonna be bitching and moaning. Female. What the fuck? Like you should have stayed in Game of Thrones. Don't fucking come play with us and whatnot. So yeah, I agree with that as well. And again, we'll be wrapping up soon the stream, y'all. So if you have any final comments, thoughts, questions, please let us know and put them in the live chat. But apart from this, guys, remember, DC Studios is doing its main universe, and then on the offshoot is Elseworlds. Yeah. It's Matt Reeves doing his shenanigans, and it's anything else that a creative might have a take on a character with a good script. And so I'm hoping that, like, down the line, we might even get more announcement and confirmation. Like, oh no, we're doing more stuff with the Elseworlds besides just more Batman shit. It's like, okay. There's a group. There's two guys that wanted to do another Constantine movie. That's something that could fit into your Elseworld story. So I don't know. I hope that.
You know what I want? I want some animated Elseworld Black Label stuff. I want Warner Brothers Animation to look at some of the Black Label stuff because that's already Elseworld as it is, right? And just go whole hog on some of the Black Label stories because there's some fucking wicked, wild Black Label books out there. Case in point, Batman First Night. This is a story that takes Batman promptly right into 1939, back to his detective roots. It is pulp. He is working alone. It's him and Jim Gordon. It's very noir. Matter of fact, the first book ends with Batman getting fucking electrocuted in an electric chair. This book is bananas. It's amazing. Dan Jurgens wrote it. If you know who Dan Jurgens is, Death of Superman, and even some of the recent Superman stuff, he's a great writer. Mike Parker does the art. This book is effing incredible, and I think it would make for an excellent animated feature, if not animated series. But they are already kind of doing that with Batman Cape Crusader. But my point still stands, is like the Black Label line of DC books, that is your primer for Elseworld tales.
I think like I really hope Dynamic Duo does well, because I think that is
I agree.
depending on if we get a lot more of these Elseworld, or just like in general, like animated theatrical movies. Like we have that in the works, and as silly as it is, the Jurassic League movie they announced a couple years
Never
ago via
confirmed.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
That may not
Never
come out.
confirmed.
It may, it might not. But like, I want more stuff like that. I want them to be like, hey, here's a cool comic book. Let me just base this on and do an animated movie. I would give my left testicle for an animated Flash movie. I would kill for. Shocked everyone with that one. Sorry. It's been a while. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I would love just like a Flash animated movie, or like a Dr. Fate animated movie or something like that. Like that. So much you could do in the realm of DC.
I agree. Let me check one more time. Wow. There you go. Wow. From
Lance,
Jeffrey.
All right.
All right, boys. To wrap things up, one last statement. What do you if you could say something to anybody working at DC Studios, what would you tell them? As a fan of DC stuff, what would be one thing to be like, make sure you do this, don't F up this. What's something you would say to them? Because again, for if anybody at DC is watching this, we're doing this because we're not bored and trying to hassle you stuff, because we are fans and are into it, and we just want, like Harvey said, keep us in the loop. Let's start with Daren. We'll go to Phil. We'll go to Jorrel, and then I'll go last.
I mean, my selfish one is bring back Bat Ryan as Constantine. As silly as that is. But I mean, just make art. Just make good things. Make things you're confident about. And even if I don't like it, you made what you wanted to. Like, I didn't really love this season, The Peacemaker. But at least James Gunn loved what he did. And he thought what he did was great. And it was art. And he wasn't pressured by the studio. So I'm like, you know what? Do what you do. Just make good shit, man. Make good stuff.
Yeah. Felipe?
I think I would ask someone at DC Animation to make Absolute Batman into an animated thing. That would be my ask. That's what I want more than anything. I think Absolute Bruce Wayne is one of the most relatable versions of Batman ever made. So yeah, I want that personally.
I like Jorrel.
Just great stories. That's all I want. Just great or masterful storytelling. It's really it. It's really that simple. I just want a good story. Period. I don't really care about the. I'm so past the days of like oh, look at this character, like, oh, look at this character, all that. That's like, I don't care. Okay, put 280 of them on screen at the same time. Who cares? Is this a good story? Is this a story that 15 years later we would still be like, oh my god, I can't believe this movie? Because that's what it needs, or it's going to fail. Period.
I agree. All I'll say is, please keep us in the loop. Don't tell us everything. Don't show your cards all the time, but keep us in the loop, especially this year. I hope they up the ante with the podcast. I have some friends who work on that show. And yeah, I let the foundation really clear. That way you can go wild and really not follow Marvel, but do DC stories, even the ones that people aren't familiar with. There's a whole tapestry that you own. You own all your characters, so there's no excuse for you to not look at it and go around the spectrum and be like, yeah, all right, we're gonna tell a story about Hammerman, or for our friend Jake's sake, a story about a boxer turned hero in Wildcat. So I say do that. Pluto 24 says, Daren, the reverse Flash. Jeffrey says, don't fuck up Batman and give me John Constantine. There it is. Muchachos, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang out with me and talk about geek culture stuff. I want everybody go around the circle, promote yourself, let people know where they can find you, and tell of anything you got coming up. We're going to start with Felipe.
I'm actually going live in about 35 minutes. I'm going to be playing my Switch 2 Gonna do some Animal Crossing and Final Fantasy play. You guys can follow me on VeroThreads, Instagram, and Blue Sky, as well as TikTok. You can catch all my other shenanigans there. You guys can catch me on the Party Nation show every Tuesday. You can catch me on Council Creators every Wednesday. You can catch me on the Vodka streams most Fridays. You can also now catch me on this season of Ranger Nation with our good buddy Lance from Party Nation, talking through Power Rangers in space starting this week.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Daren?
Oh, hello. You can. Where can you find me? You can find me Daren Sanctuary. I'm gonna try and get back to the swing of things this week. Pipeline Thursdays, after credits Mondays, and then anything else I end up putting out.
Beautiful. Jorrel?
It's on the screen. Jorrel's Alexandria. That's my main hub for all of my content. And I don't know. I guess really quickly, fuck ICE. They just tried pulling up on my Polish buddy in Wisconsin. So fuck them.
Fuck them.
Beautiful.
Fuck them all.
Beautiful. As Green Day says, chinga la migra. Take care, everybody. Stay safe out there. Hopefully next week we'll talk about some potential trailers coming out from the Super Bowl. And as always, live long and prosper. Yeah. Cool. Fuck yeah.
Ay, papaya de Celaya. Ay, papantla, tus hijos vuelan. Vámonos, perra.